Aniblocks. Let's talk about them. You know them, you love them. They are a major time saver. They're kind of expensive, but hey, it's worth it, right? But here's the thing. Whenever someone makes an Aniblock, they do it on a very specific, very rigid character, which ends up meaning that you have mistakes in things like this. I have two preset Aniblocks here set up. One that just needs very minor adjustments. That's part one of what I'm going to show you. And the second thing I'm going to show you is over here on the second Aniblock, and that's going to be an Aniblock that I'm going to drastically change in order to match the scene that I want to do. So the first one is I have a Gen 1 character, and you are going to need Animate 2 for this. There's no way around it. You have to have Animate 2 for this. So first thing to do is to hover over your Aniblock, left click, and that's going to open up several options here. Click on this thing that looks like a, I don't know, series of rectangles. So these are all the individual keyframes, and unlike a large scale poser preset, I can actually make one change and then have it apply to the entire Aniblock. So I go over here to base, level 1. Now I have to identify what is the problem. And the problem is, first of all, his feet are just in a weird position. This happens when they make a Aniblock for a character and then Daz updates. This is very, very, very easy thing to fix. Come down here. Let's see. I'm actually going to make his boots invisible because I just don't want to deal with them. Click here. Come up to posing, and I want to bend. And you do have to do this manually. I can't just automatically do anything, but bring him to about there. So his feet are level with the floor. And I do recommend that you have a visible floor for this kind of work. And now when I play it, his feet are fixed. You might move around a little bit, but more or less that issue has been taken care of. Now his right hand is actually going to go through his leg, because I think the character this was modeled on was taller than this guy, right? There, see it? Suddenly this is no longer a laughing matter. So what I needed to do is bring this part of his arm forward, and I need to find the frame exactly where everything was okay. So, and if you're thinking you don't want to do this every single time you do a character, then I have good news, because I'm going to be able to save these changes. So click here. Now I need him to bend, this guy. I need his arm to come off the side basically. But I don't want anything up to this point to be changed. So what I want to do is I want it starting at this frame. I want his arm to gently go off to the side, but I don't want anything to change up until that point. Daz is kind of weird about this kind of effect, because if I just change something, or if I just said, okay, remember this one frame, then it'll change things before this point in time, and I don't want that. There is a kind of a nice little workaround. What I do is I want him to bend his arm, so I click here, 8, I just add the number 1. Now technically I have created a state of motion from the very beginning up to the frame where I want something to change, but it's literally about a 10 billionth of a change, so it's not perceptible, but it will register mathematically, which kind of fools Daz into thinking I've made a more drastic change. And now, so where's it going to put his hand? Find my spot again. Everything's okay. right there. So right here is where the problem starts. Bring it up, add the number 1. Now I wait till I bring it forward till there's a real problem. About there. Let's just bring his arm just a tiny bit out. So now his arm moves around the leg instead of through it. See, and he actually might be okay from now on. Now it looks a little awkward. So I want him to go. Again, it's the same process. It looks good up to about right there. Add the number 1 to imperceptibly change it. Now I want to just bring him back. And that's how a minor repair can be done onto an Aniblock. Now how to drastically change an Aniblock. This is the yes perfect, and this is what it looks like just totally on its own. Okay, so the hands actually look okay. Again, the feet. I go up here, level 1. That's probably okay. So in this case, I'm not just making tiny little corrections. I'm actually changing the mood of the Aniblock. So I want to, again, left click here. And I just prefer to zoom in on these kinds of things. It just makes my life a little bit easier. So everything is cool right about here. And what I want him to do is want him to lean back a little farther. Well, there. Click it, level 1. And another thing you can do is you click, but if you hold the control button, I think on Mac that would be a command button. And you can highlight multiple things. You can see up here, I'm actually connected to 4 different things here. So instead of him just staying stationary, I'm going to lean him back just a tiny bit. That's actually kind of dramatic, but it's gonna. So now he's leaning back as opposed to staying straight up, and his hands are straight up like that. Click on his forearm. I don't like to use the posing tool for this kind of a thing, anything this dramatic, but because it's a major time saver if you're if you're really careful with the pen, I keep saying pen tool because I'm used to After Effects, but if you use the posing tool, now I want his fists. So instead of him saying yes, it's sort of a yeah. And this is how I just really alter Aniblocks. And if you learn how to alter Aniblocks, inevitably you will buy fewer Aniblocks. So let's see if I can get the whole thing to play. That's a full 12 seconds. So he goes, he's laughing. His arm is not going through his own thigh. And then he gives the big thumbs up.